Thank you, Geetha, for joining us for Climate Action Live. So the first question, you're the CEO of Room to Read. Could you tell us about your personal journey and how that led you to becoming the CEO of Room to Read?
My mom and ultimately her life choices had a profound impact on my life. So that history shaped a lot of my personal and professional journey until now. She refused her family's tradition of early marriage, and for context, my grandmothers were married at 2 and 14. And instead of following that path, she ultimately left home and invested in her own education, joined the Indian Army as a nurse, and moved to the United States. And she made her own choices because of the power of that education. She raised me with a similar passion for and appreciation for education. So at the age of 22, I had collected degrees, mostly because of what I thought they stood for. And I had a lucrative job as a statistician. After a number of twists and turns, using statistics in other fields and spending time in Asia, I recognized that my heart and head aligned when working with organizations that were helping people support their families and their communities. And that realization eventually led me to Room to Read. I started at Room to Read building institutional partnerships and eventually took on the revenue and marketing functions before becoming CEO 6 years ago. So here over the last 14 years, my practice and my purpose have fully aligned. And at Room to Read, we envision a world in which all children can pursue a quality education that prepares them to lead fulfilled lives and to make positive change in their families, communities, and the world. We're creating a world free from illiteracy and gender inequality through education and have worked in 23 countries. We're approaching a major milestone of benefiting 40 million children through our programs.
So we have a climate crisis on our hands. What has humanity got to do to get through this crisis? And most importantly, do you think we're capable of turning this all around?
Well, climate change is impacting every facet of our lives, from the food we eat to our health, to shaping the job market and the education we need to understand our world. And it's happening at a rate faster than many of us thought it would. Research and reality tell us we need bold collective action, and we need to continue to raise awareness and educate people about the impact of climate change in their local communities and globally. And as people understand the very real impact to weather patterns, waste management, our natural resources, and the potential detriment to their lives, I believe that knowledge will make it impossible to turn a blind eye. We all have choices and decisions we can make, and equipped with knowledge, our individual actions can combine to combat climate change in a significant way. And I do believe we have the tools and resources needed to do better, and we are seeing wins from the UN Plastics Treaty to solar-powered villages to innovations in clean energy and its adoption. So there is progress being made, and organizations and people who care deeply about our planet and its health. Here in the United States, we have the Inflation Reduction Act, which promotes clean energy, and in my own backyard, San Francisco has just become the first city in the US to have 50% of all new car sales be electric or hybrid vehicles. So I guess like many others, I'm cautiously optimistic because I know we are capable of making transformative change. But I know we need continued and collective will to do all that needs to be done.
Thank you, Geetha. So Room to Read is taking climate change extremely seriously and supports sustainability and climate justice in various ways. Could you tell us why it's so important to you and what Room to Read has been doing specifically in this space?
Well, in my opinion, if we want the next generation to be able to solve for climate issues, their education needs to reflect this knowledge. So Room to Read has integrated climate justice into our girls' education program and our children's book publishing approaches. And we're making decisions now based on how our practices, processes, and people can advance environmental sustainability in our own workplace. Climate change disproportionately affects girls and women, but girls and women also play a very important role in taking the necessary steps to address climate change. But of course, they can only do so if they have the needed skills and knowledge. So Room to Read has been strengthening our girls' education program interventions by looking closely at the intersection of gender inequality and climate justice, because we want to nurture strong female leaders with the skills to understand and tackle climate change. We have developed a 2-year school-based climate justice curriculum, which we are currently implementing in Nepal and Vietnam. And we will be drawing upon lessons learned to adapt and integrate climate-related lessons across our 7-year life skills curriculum for all secondary school girls on our girls' education program. On the book publishing front, some of the initiatives we've undertaken include mapping the carbon footprint of the life of a book, demonstrating how our actions in publishing impact the environment and the very many decision points where we can take action. We have published a series of nonfiction books for younger children, which are focused on the climate crisis using examples from their own immediate environments. And one last initiative I want to mention is that Room to Read has launched a campaign called She Creates Change, which is a multimedia project, including animated and live action film, books, and audio stories. And collectively, they highlight the experiences of girls in Room to Read programs who are using life skills that they have built to bring about positive change for themselves and their communities. And one of these stories is about a young woman, Dumini, from Sri Lanka. And that story highlights the effects that climate change had on Dumini's own life, because food scarcity had threatened to have her drop out of school. So she uses skills she has learned on the program to combat that food scarcity by building a sustainable garden for her family and her community. And she demonstrates the power of resilience and goes even further to advocate for wells so that other families can benefit from her learnings too. Room to Read has seen the value to our communities by having really important conversations about the climate crisis and the impact of that crisis on people's lives. And so we continue to deepen the integration of our environmental sustainability commitment within our education initiatives like book publishing and girls' education. And I believe that all social sector organizations need to closely examine the intersection of their work and climate justice so that we can take collective action and reap collective benefit. So I'm very proud that Room to Read is committed to building a more sustainable future for all the communities that we work with. And I encourage other organizations to do the same.
Finally, if people would like to support Room to Read and find out more about your organisation, how do they do that?
If you'd like to learn more about Room to Read's work, please go to our website, www.roomtoread.org, where you can follow us on social media and stay up to date with our latest news and initiatives. I do hope that the international community will support organizations like Room to Read so that we can continue to deliver programs that strengthen climate education so that we can have more young people with the skills needed to solve the world's greatest challenges, like the climate crisis.
Thank you, Geetha, for today, and really the best of luck with everything that you're doing. Room to Read is an amazing organisation. Thank you for joining Climate Action Live. Take care.
Thank you all for your time today and learning more about Room to Read. We believe that world change starts with educated children, and I hope you'll join us in our efforts to create more problem solvers with the skills to make positive change for themselves, their communities, and the world.